So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are back again. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit disappointed because, um, there's a little bit of smack talking going on. I don't really like this. I'm here to have fun casting the games. People who are not just, I just will not go into more any details. I'm just focusing on the game right now because it is mOnNan against Dreamcatcher, and whoever wins this will go to the finals, and there may face Cyflo. Dreamcatcher was able to win the first game. On the other hand, mOnNan was able to win game number 2. And now they're playing here on GS Altar Dream Altar. In the quarterfinals, we saw a pretty good PvT by mOnNan, where he was able to attack at 3 different locations at once. Here on GS Altar Dream Altar, dropping with some medivacs. But in this last game, mOnNan was spawning here at the top left, and because of this map not being 100% symmetrical, but I think it's called rotational symmetrical, because it was a little bit easier for mOnNan to drop here in the natural expansion of the Protoss player, but now because he's spawning here on the bottom right, he can do two things. He can move in here from the left, he can drop a little bit more easy here in the main, but attacking this natural expansion with the drop is a little bit more complicated for him, just because of the spawning positions in regard to the map architecture. So mOnNan still scouting around, seeing, okay, there's nothing. Dreamcatcher was scouting around here, there's nothing as well. So it looks like Cyflo is not being able to to spot see the stream. If you're having any problems trying to watch the low quality stream, and if it's not working as well, try to watch it on 3D TV. If you're watching it via Team Liquid, there is a button watch on SC streams, and if you are on the SC streams page, there you will see a button watch on 3D, because some people have problems with SC streams, but with a new server added in London lately, those problems should be a thing of the past. So now mOnNan is moving out with his Reaper here, and he's going for a very fast expansion. So this command center is being hidden here in his main base, going for the barracks with a tech lab into expand. And now there we see another barracks is coming up by him. This Reaper, will the Reaper be able to get in the base, or will yes, the Stalker will be able to take it out? Because the Reaper without the nitro packs not doing anything too much here in terms of scouting if there's a Stalker involved, because the Stalker with a 295 movement speed is slightly faster than the Reaper, I think, without the nitro pack. So what does mOnNan know what's going on here in the base of Dreamcatcher? And by the way, mOnNan is from the US, Dreamcatcher is from Canada, and both guys playing here on the European servers, and this is actually not happening quite a lot most of the time. If there are any tournaments on the US service, it's that the Europeans are there, but vice versa, it's not that common. So I'm happy even more for those two guys, because they are able to come at least to the advance here at least to the semifinals of this tournament, the Competo Cup. And I'm not so sure because about one thing, because tonight's prize, of course, is the €50, which is like maybe $70 or something like this. I'm not 100% sure. But in addition to this €50, you get a power supply unit by Xylence. And maybe if someone is living in the outer skirts of Alaska, shipping this power supply unit from Germany actually might cost more than the power supply unit itself. So anyway, so Dreamcatcher here now building a forward pylon. This Marine was not able to take this out, and Dreamcatcher cancelled the pylon. This is interesting. So just a second. So Cyclo does want to know a lot of stuff, but like always, only message me in-game please if there's an emergency, if there's something wrong with the stream, if I am too stupid to unmute my microphone or something in that regard. So, Robo Facility is coming up by Dreamcatcher, and he's going for the Forge. He's going for a single Forge, no double Forge play, and of course against the Terran, the early double Forge, especially as soon as the +2/+2 is finished, kicks in and does quite a lot of damage, and especially against the Terran player, who's really going for this Marine Marauder oriented play. The plus armor upgrades are so much more efficient than, for example, in a PvP. For the Protoss player. So mOnNan here now going for the reactor swap to allow the Medivacs to be in this army composition as well. The combat shield is halfway done, but the stim and the concussive shell is already finished. This Marine still checking out, moving here over to the Zellnaga watchtower to see if there are any units there or not. But he just checked the Zellnaga watchtower, and now his next step, his next path will most likely be the end of his life spawn here at the top of the ramp. Meanwhile, we see our friend Dreamcatcher going for 3 more gates, so he will be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates in total in addition to this Robo Facility. And the Forge is going for the +1 armor, like I said, not going for the +1 attack. This is a very smart choice by him. And the Twilight Council is what else is being researched right now. Here we see the Twilight Council being roved in. Twilight Council will be finished in 5 seconds, so this will of course allow him to go for some Templar tech. High Templars against Marine Marauders, very efficient. If you're able to catch those forces off guard, maybe some DTs, or just to have the charge, the blink, and the upgrades. The ability to go for the +2/+3 upgrades. We see the blink, not the blink, the charge for the Zealots is being researched right now. Do we see it including a Chrono Boost? No, we do not. Here are more Medivacs, and now this is a really typical mOnNan. He's preparing for a double prompt attack. This Medivac will drop here at the natural. This Medivac will most likely drop here at the second natural or at the main base. Dreamcatcher is waiting here with 5 Stalkers already, so he is prepared for a possible attack, but he does not have any units here in that area. So looks like Dreamcatcher is aware mOnNan not paying any attention, losing this one Medivac, but he was able to drop those units, forcing the probes away, killing a lot of more probes. And now what is he doing? He's lifting up his forces, running away, and this is how he should do it. Exactly. Now with his Twilight Council finished, of course he's going for the Dreamcatcher is allowed to go for more upgrades. Chrono boosting the shit out of the Forge to go for the +2 attack, and if I'm saying chrono boosting the shit out of something, I'm just telling you this is, I'm not trying to be super cool, super fresh, super young in any kind. I'm just saying it is really, he wants to have those upgrades done as fast as possible. Meanwhile, mOnNan, he is dropping once again, killing a lot of probes, and now Dreamcatcher decided not to even run away, trying to take out as much forces as possible, but in the end he was able to take out 2 more Medivacs, and he killed about 6 probes there. Let's take a look, and the main army is now roaming around here. We'll be able to take out 2 pylons and this probe as well. But where are the forces of Dreamcatcher? Now Dreamcatcher is doing the same thing his last Protoss opponent, mOnNan's last Protoss opponent in the quarterfinals on Tal'Darim Altar was doing. He was just running around trying to defend, and that's about it. And yeah, it's just haters gonna hate. Here we go. So mOnNan is now moving out to the center, just did some damage, did some lifting up, dropped his units once again in out of the Medivacs, and decided to move back. But Dreamcatcher, yes, he is aware of it. He does know exactly what is going on because of this observer. So what about the tech upgrades here for Dreamcatcher? He's going for a Colossus right now. Colossus number 1 is being finished soon. The thermal lens is being built as well here. Being researched, nearly halfway done, and mOnNan was just taking out a pylon, moving back, then he was dropping here at the natural once again, and this is typical mOnNan play, just attacking at different locations at once, and this is why it's so effective. And yes, he pulled up those units, moved away, killed 2 probes, killed a pylon, and now the +3 ground armor for the Protoss units is being researched right now. Once again with a chrono boost? No, not just yet. But in addition to this, Colossus number 1, Colossus number 2 is halfway down the thermal lance. Extended thermal lance will be finished in 20 seconds, and mOnNan now moving back with his forces. And does he still only have Marines and Marauders? Yes, he does, but he finished with even more barracks, so he does have 7 barracks in total, but that's basically about it. So here we have 2 fully loaded medivacs, and is he going to drop here in that area, or is he going to drop in the main base? In the main base, there he was doing a scanner. Only 1 single photon cannon is there waiting. But what about this cannon? Yes, this cannon will even be able to attack the medivacs, even though the cannon will not be able to kill those medivacs. Meanwhile, the forces try to attack here at the center location as well. And now moving back, where are the forces of Dreamcatcher? Here they are. And now Dreamcatcher is aware of those forces being there. There are the Stalkers being moved in position. And it's a little bit too slow here for mOnNan to drop all those forces. And once again, I mean, he scanned the photon cannon, was not choosing the right landing location. Meanwhile, now he's moving in with the Marines and the Marauders at the main entrance. Some force fields being placed, not doing too much damage there. And the shields of both Colossi are depleted thanks to a nice EMP, but that's basically about it. Meanwhile, he was dropping here at the natural, trying to take down the Nexus, but the Nexus will survive and mOnNan will lose all of his forces. Meanwhile, he got some more reinforcements. He was pulling those reinforcements back because he realized okie dokie, moving in with some just 5 or 6 Marauders will just not be enough, so he pulled back. Now reinforcing his forces with some more medivacs, with some more Vikings. The supply is currently still the same. Apparently, actually, I would have thought that Dreamcatcher is the one being ahead right now, but I mean, he's ahead like 2 supply, but that's basically about it. What about the upgrades for mOnNan? +2 is not even en route. He's just got the +1/+1 finished. Dreamcatcher now going for 4 more gates, and he is about to move out. Meanwhile, at the same time, mOnNan going for another expansions. Here in the top right, Dreamcatcher just building a single pylon here, and of course he can use his Colossi to move up the ramp, to move up the cliff, to take those SCVs a little bit. And mOnNan is nearly basically mined out in the main base, so the timing of the third expansion here is a pretty important one. There we see mOnNan doing a scan, now Dreamcatcher moving in there, and Dreamcatcher most likely, yes, he has no idea about this expansion over here, just getting pylons everywhere on the map. So he was to be versatile with this, with him being able to warp in units nearly everywhere on the map, and he's just warping in more stuff right now, getting the +1 attack. And just imagine him being on 2 forges, go for the double attack, double upgrades. He would be at +3/+3 already, which of course would allow him to be so much more efficient with his units. And especially here on Tal Darim Altar, if you have the Colossi to move up some ramps, up some cliffs, having the blink for the Stalkers would be a pretty awesome ability too, even though he does have the Twilight Council for quite a while. He was not just yet doing it, going for the blink. And pulling back, smart decision by Dreamcatcher, because mOnNan was about to get in position here for his with his Vikings to take out the Colossi. Meanwhile, in the top right location, we have mOnNan here finishing his planetary fortress. Meanwhile, Dreamcatcher is not purely focusing on the Stalkers and Colossi. He will be finished with a Dark Shrine in the next 30 seconds, which allows him, of course, to go for some DT action. Looks like we have engagement going on, but mOnNan was not paying attention. Lost the Ghost, lost 2 Vikings, lost 5 Marauders, and now the Thermal Lance Colossi can do so much damage. Now a flank of Stint Marauders is moving up here to the top, taking out 1 Colossus after another, doing a really good job. And now it's up to the remaining Marauders to deal with the Stalkers, deal with the sentries. Looks like the Stalker count is a little bit too high for him to handle. And do we see any more reinforcements coming in? No, we do not. So he is retreating with his forces. The Stalker, now imagine the Stalker with the blink. All those medivacs would have gone down. The price for the blink upgrade was already paid for. Now he's going for the blink, realizing Okie dokie, I'm a little bit late there. So he warped in 2 DTs. Let's take a look. How much damage will he be able to do with his DTs? So now he's moving his DTs over here to check if there's anything going on. And now an interesting movement pattern here by mOnNan. Now the DT is spotting all those units. Does he have a missile turret in production there? No, he does not. Does he have a missile turret here? Yes, he does want to have a missile turret on the left. No missile turret here on the right, but I think a scan should be sufficient to deal with the DT here. And he even is moving out with some medivacs to drop some units, and as soon as Dreamcatcher is attacking the first time, we should see a scan coming up right away. He does have enough energy for one scan right now. There's the scan. The DT is running out of range. And this missile turret will be finished not just yet in time. 2 DTs doing more damage here. It's just a nice job by Dreamcatcher to get rid of this DT, and all those SCVs were blocking the DTs in this one DT, just taking out one SCV after another. Meanwhile, we have another small engagement here in the middle of the map. Looks like it's just pure gateway and one single Colossus. What about the upgrades here for mOnNan? He's still only on the 1-1. Nice double EMP here, and the EMP is how you should deal with those forces. But now Dreamcatcher with the blink and the stalk is just blinking on top of all those Marauders, in addition to the medivacs, to the Dark Templar, of course, doing much more damage. And mOnNan needs to watch out where he's going with his forces. What about the DTs? Finally, they have been repelled. The Planetary Fortress is still alive, so mOnNan can continue to mine here. Meanwhile, Dreamcatcher went for another expansion himself at the 9 o'clock, and looks like more and more we will have a PvP in the finals, because yes, Dreamcatcher at 170 supply, only 110 here for mOnNan, so coming back from 60 supply. Oh, I was looking just so fascinated at all those DTs. Coming back from being 60 supply behind is not very likely to happen, and only now the +2/+2 finished for mOnNan. Just imagine at this last single fight where mOnNan was losing it, but only barely losing it. Just imagine him having nearly the same upgrades as Dreamcatcher. This game could have turned out the complete other way. So. And apparently we're in Competo Cup 32 and not Competo Cup 31, because Flash in the early games always typed it's Competo Cup 32, and looks like he was wrong, and if he's wrong, I'm wrong as well, because I just said what he wrote down in the chat. Nice job by mOnNan taking out this Nexus, but here should be the final attack. I mean, mOnNan, he got quite a lot of bunkers, he got quite a lot of Marines and Marauders. He even killed nearly all of the DTs, but I'm not sure if he will be able to defend this attack. I mean, he got the +2/+2 finish right now, but there's the blink. Bunker 1 going down, Bunker 2 going down as well, and now there are no more bunkers left. And mOnNan tries to regroup with his forces, taking out more DTs, taking out more Zealots here, but it's still too much forces for him to handle, even though he decided to go for another expansion. It is a little bit too late. The forces taking out this Nexus are gone as well, and there we see the GG by mOnNan, so Dreamcatcher being able to win 2-1 against mOnNan. And that's about it. So, Dreamcatcher in the finals against Cyplo. And before people start to cry out loud, oh, it's Protoss versus Protoss, it is so boring, I don't like this matchup. For those of you who tuned in early on, just remember the match we saw of Grubby against Slimmy, and this was quite an entertaining PvP. Maybe we see some more of those PvPs here in the finals.